are going to be recording it from now. Thank you all for taking the time to join us tonight. We appreciate that. It's a busy time for everyone. We've got a lot to prepare for the season ahead. We've got some key updates for you this evening. We have got national programs. We're going to cover some of the stuff around the women and girls guidance. We'll go a quick update on safeguarding, Gamewide Insurance, an update on first aid for you, play cricket. We've got our disability cricket champion club scheme, some online courses, and some news on funding as well. As we go through tonight, if you've got any questions at any time, if you can put them in the chat box for us, my colleague Stuart will be keeping an eye on that as we go through tonight. There will be an opportunity for those questions at the end. I'm sure most people are aware now of where the chat box is on Zoom, but if not, Stuart will be putting a message in there shortly, so hopefully you can all find it. Start off tonight with a quick update from us on our staff. We're aware that this has changed quite a lot since we last did a club webinar in January. I think I'm probably the only one still here. So some of you may have seen recently that Russell Dole has joined us as head of cricket operations. He started today. I think Russell is on the call tonight. So Russell, if you've got your, you want to come off mute for a second and introduce yourself?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's great to see some very familiar faces and some and many new ones as well. So yeah, as Matt said, I started today as head of operations for Cambridgeshire Cricket. Just a little bit of background: I've been employed by the ECB for 20 years, just over 20 years, of which 6 of them were spent as cricket development manager of Cambridgeshire between 2000 and 2006. So yeah, I know the patch. I've lived in the patch all my life. Playing wise, I play at Cambridge St Giles, and I'm also heavily involved with Burwell and Exning, where my son plays, so I coach there. In terms of, Matt asked me just to give a little overview of, in a nutshell, what my role is about. Day one, I see it in two particular ways. One is to make sure that Cambridgeshire Cricket meets the expected standards of them in terms of governance and decision making throughout the whole structure, and secondly to make sure that the game is sustained and it grows, particularly around women and girls, all stars and dynamos, the national programs. There's lots to do, there's lots that could be done, but I see a close and an understanding relationship with clubs vital in achieving participation and growth ambitions. So yeah, thank you for attending tonight. Hopefully you enjoy the evening, and yeah, no doubt I'll pick up with a lot of you in the future. So yes, thank you. And Matt, back to you, as I say.
Thank you very much, Russell. It's obviously really exciting for us to have Russell back working with us in Cambridgeshire, and obviously got a lot of experience in the game, which will be really beneficial to the clubs across the county, as well as our staff and our board as we try and work our way forward coming out of COVID. The rest of our current staffing structure, so I'm still here. My role has changed slightly, so I'm now cricket development manager responsible for participation and growth. I still lead on our schools programs primarily, but I also do more club work now than I did before. Most of your club inquiries, if they're not linked to national programs or women or girls at this stage, probably come to me. Given Russell's experience in that area, I'm sure I'll be leaning on Russell plenty, and emails that land in my inbox might end up being forwarded on to Russell. And there might be a time when we kind of split the clubs up a bit more and use Russell's experience there as best we can. James Williams, who you will be meeting in a moment. Lots of you, if you're involved with All Stars and Dynamos, will have met James already. He joined us in April, or was due to join us in April until COVID came along. He's been leading our All Stars and Dynamos programs and our other national programs activities as well. Damian Redpath, she joined us in March last year, pre-pandemic. He's leading our women and girls stuff. She's on a part-time contract with us and doubling up with Cricket East as well and leading their programs there. And then Stuart, who is our street programs, looks after some of our community delivery and does a lot of our community coaching. Now, we are moving on to, if the slide goes, to Willow. Over to you, mate. I'll get the slide for you in a moment.
Thank
There we go.
So, guys, nice to see you all tonight. Thank you very much for coming along. You've finally got a face to all the mountains of emails that I've sent recently regarding Club Spark and Stripe and things like that. Firstly, a massive thank you from me and on behalf of CAMS for, first of all, putting on national programs this year. We know that current situations, are obviously getting better, but it's still going to be incredibly tough for clubs and people this year. We know how hard it is to get volunteers to run these things. So a massive thank you from me. Just with regards to national programs, most of you have already seen a lot of this with the club's webinar. So we're looking to run All Stars in 2 windows, the May and July, and then July to September, that first kind of junior cricket window. And then later on in the summer to look into that summer holiday camp type thing. With All Stars, every participant, 40 recommended retail price of £40. And this year, clubs will receive £10, which is doubled rather than previously £5. All of the new centres that we've got involved this year, you'll get your All Stars kit bag, and then something new this year, rather than nothing arriving on your doorstep, you'll get £5 of credit into a club shop, where you'll be able to buy any new stock. So if you need, any new bats or balls, anything for your kit bag, then you'll be able to do some shopping. With the clubs, all clubs will be supporting their activated recruitment. Pleased to say that a lot of you already sorted on that and got that uploaded, and training, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Next slide, please, Matthew. Felt like Chris Whitty there. There we go. So Dynamos, obviously Dynamos was looking to be rolled out last year, but it is starting this year. So obviously this is based around the 100. So it's count back cricket, countdown cricket. It's more play based rather than skill based and kind of participation based in All Stars, and it's that natural progression from All Stars. So it's now from 8 to 11 boys and girls. Pleased to say a lot of you have got either mixed programs or gone for girls only programs. I know Damian will talk to you about a little bit more about that later on, but I know that we've got a lot of clubs doing that as well. Again, looking to run in 2 windows, that May, July and September. And then for every Dynamos participant with the RRP of £40, it will receive £25. And then every participant will get a pack, which will include a nice t-shirt, and then a party app, which will have loads and loads of things around the 100 and drills and things that they can do at home. You'll obviously, as a club, your Dynamos kit, which will have the stumps, the balls and everything. And then again, we'll support you with your marketing and participant recruitment. Next slide, please, Matthew. So activated training. I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear about this. So the actual dates will come on into our calendar slide, which will be later on in the presentation. So volunteers are now trained to be both All Stars and Dynamos activators. So it's not just you're an All Star activator and a separate Dynamo. So everybody can do either one. So the new activators, so nobody who's done it before, there'll be an online induction, which will be the last week in March, and then there'll be a face-to-face training with the venue to be confirmed at the minute in the kind of back end of April, mid of April. Existing activators, all you'll need to do is an online refresher course, which again we'll look to put towards the start of the program, so that back end, middle of April again. And then all of your courses you'll run through Club Spark when we get the final venues. And then we'll be looking to support you as activators as much as we can post activator training. So marketing. So tomorrow will be the priority launch. So these guys will be for anybody who's done All Stars before. So those parents will receive an email tomorrow. They'll get a priority email, so they'll be able to sign up to All Star centres from tomorrow. And then the following week on the 22nd will be the national launch. So all centres will go live. Everybody, anybody who's not signed up before, they'll be able to go live. And then resources, obviously we'll send as much resources and marketing stuff to, oh, hang on, Matthew, you're stitching me up here. Newbie on the job, and look, he's trying to stitch me up. Well, thanks, mate.
Sorry, what you were done, mate.
So yeah, resources. So I'm just chatting away. So yes, obviously everything will be sent to you. Marketing obviously is a little bit different this year. Obviously, we'd have liked to have gone into a lot of schools and already done some sessions with locals in your area. At the minute, we can't. We have got some schools that are willing to have us in after Easter. We are, a month or so behind where we normally would be. So we are looking for a bit more emphasis on club marketing. So you guys, get on social media, try and promote your programs as much as you can. So that's enough for me. Thank you.
To me. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully over the summer I'll get a chance to meet you all, but I suppose we have to do it virtually at the moment. As Matt said, I came on board just before COVID hit, so really feel like I'm only really just getting going with this. A couple of weeks ago, we sent a questionnaire out to junior coordinators just to find out exactly where we are in the landscape in terms of women and girls and what's out there. It really was just to find out sort of a base point or a start point for us so that we can put in appropriate plans and structures to get to give the women and girls in our county as many opportunities to play. If you haven't yet filled out that survey, the links on the slides, please do. It's really important information for us to help us put things in place. At the moment, in terms of youth cricket, we're looking at putting on some festivals for the girls. We feel like for clubs who perhaps don't have enough girls to form a team, this will be the best way of giving girls the best opportunity to play. So finding host clubs and getting as many girls down there as possible. So hopefully over the next week or so, I'll be able to put those plans into place and be in touch about how we set those up. Again, probably doing something similar around Dynamo. So for those girls who are new to the game is, as Willow said, playing countdown cricket. Again, another festival that we can put on that gets those girls together, playing a game that they're familiar with. One of the things that's been really, really positive is we've had contact with our neighbouring counties to find out if they've got clubs with girls teams who are willing to play matches. And the response from that has been really, really positive. So my plan with that is to create a directory of clubs who maybe not that far away, who've got girls teams who are looking for matches. And that way we can put everybody in touch with each other to increase that. We are going to be running the Lady Taverners Club softball competition for under 11 and under 13. There is still time to enter that if you would like to. We've got a number of entries for that, but I think that is going to run as a one-day festival county final. But ultimately what would be great would be to get the winners of the Huntingdonshire, Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire finals together, and they all play a champion of champions match just as an extra opportunity. Women's softball is going to be relaunched, and if your club wants to take advantage of that and provide an opportunity for women this summer to play, that is going to be relaunched, and we will obviously support and promote any activity that you choose to do. And there will be an option of buying extra women's softball kit. They're not going to be doing the kit bags like they did in the past, but there will be an option to buy via Serious Cricket. Once I've got a bit more information about that, we can put that out to you. That was a whistle-stop tour of women and girls. I'm here if you need to contact me or have any questions, please do. And I look forward to meeting you all soon. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Damian. So, quick update for you now on safeguarding. So obviously this is a really important part of the game. The main development over the last few months has been the launch of the Safe Hands management system. All those clubs on here tonight that are Club Mark accredited, you will be added to that system in the coming months, or coming weeks, if you haven't been added already. Thank you to all of the welfare officers that are on the course, and it has in the whole been welfare officers that have been leading on that system for their clubs and adding members on to that. As people are working, there's a lot of All-Stars activators and lots of different people working in clubs here. You will at some point get an invite from your administrator to join the system. Please do so when you get that invite through. It's really going to help us keep the game safe as we move forward. So the system is really all about just making sure clubs register all of their members, or the people that are working with young people, from captains, positions on the committee, down to coaches, all the way through the club, to make sure that they have all of the right stuff in place, whether it be a DBS check, first aid certificate, coaching qualifications, etc. So please do try and make sure you are completing that when you receive your invite for it. Clubs that are club mark accredited will need to be 100% compliant on that system by the end of July to retain the accreditation for next year. Any clubs on here that aren't club mark accredited, most of you will have junior sections, and you will be the next cohort added on to the system once the club mark clubs are on. The date for that at the moment we are not sure of. It will be possibly at some point later this year. It could be in the summer, or it could be in the autumn. There will be induction safeguarding training launched soon, and will be available to all club volunteers and players to complete. Safe hands renewals. We are aware there's a lot of people that need to renew their safe hands before the season starts, or over the course of this year. They are all online at the moment. There is a link on our website to that, but if you need it, please get in touch with either myself or one of our safeguarding officers, and they will be able to send that out to you. If you click on the link and you don't get through, don't think the link's working, it probably means all of the courses are fully booked. The new courses are being added every week, so please keep trying, please keep using that link, trying to book onto a course, and you should be able to. The ECB are running about 3 of those courses every week, and they are open to about 50 participants each time, so it's just a case of trying to get on one as soon as possible. DBS inquiries at the moment are still limited to a small number of county-wide verifiers. As of the 12th of April, face-to-face verification will be allowed again, and a wider network of verifiers will regain access to the system. So if you have a club welfare officer who is normally a verifier for DBS checks, they will be able to access the system again from the 12th of April. Appreciate that's not a lot of time before the season starts, and you probably have some DBS checks to get completed. Again, if you need any help with that, please get in touch with one of our safeguarding officers, the email address at the bottom there, or get in touch with me and we can help you get that process in motion. The ECB have decided that it would be a good idea for welfare officers' title to change to a safeguarding officer. This is to bring consistency across the game, and that will be coming in over the next sort of from affiliation next year. So when our affiliation documents come out next year, you will see the welfare officers being called safeguarding officers. Okay, no major change to the role, just a change to the title there. And as always, for any safeguarding queries, please email the address there, and Robert or Jane will be happy to help you with any problems you may have. Directly linked into the Safe Hands management system is the new ECB Gamewide Insurance policy. This at the moment is only open to club mark clubs, but will eventually be rolled out to all clubs over the next year or two. So, partnering with Howden's Insurance, the ECB are providing free liability insurance to clubs. On the Safe Hands management system, you go through it and you complete the risk assessment section. You'll be given a score, and then your policy will come into place from the next renewal date. So even if your insurance renews in June, you can do that process now, so it's all done, ready to go, and you know that your insurance will then come into place as soon as it starts. I know from talking to other clubs in the county that have completed this, they're saving somewhere around £180 on that, and other clubs across the country are kind of reporting a saving of around £200 to £300 by getting their liability insurance this way. There'll be other insurance products you as a club may need, whether it be contents, buildings, etc. You can approach Howden's for a quote on that, and it is possible that they may be able to do you a better deal than your current providers, but you don't have to go with Howden's on that. You can still go and get a quote from someone else on other insurance products. At the moment, of those clubs that have got access to the Safe Hands management system, there hasn't been that many applying for this. There's a big saving to be had here, and I know insurance is something that costs clubs plenty. It is really worth looking at, going through that safe house management system and taking the time to fill in the risk assessment, because you will save quite a lot of money with it as we move forward. First aid. So some of you may have received an email from us last week. We were hoping to run some first aid courses. The ECB advice at the moment is that they are permissible. You could run them, but it's not advisable. The guidance we would have to follow basically means we would have to put in place a symptomatic testing policy or procedure to make sure everyone had tested negative before we could have them inside to run the course. Obviously, we haven't got the skills to do that, or the ability to kind of bring that kind of structure into place from a small county like us. Might be other providers that are providing courses, but at the moment the ECB have extended any certificate that has expired since the 1st of March and will remain valid until the 30th of September this year. So hopefully anyone who is there thinking that their qualification has expired and they need to do a new course, that will provide you some confidence that you don't need to do that between now and the end of September. If anyone has done any online courses, the ECB do not recognise these, so it will not count for your qualification or your requirements for first aid as a club. I'll talk to you very briefly about play cricket. So obviously lots of clubs will be using play cricket already. It's really important to us as a county and to the ECB that we kind of drive the adoption of play cricket as much as we can and kind of encourage people to get as much information on play cricket as possible. At this moment in time, it's the only real resource we have to work out the number of players that are taking part in the game across the county. Obviously, play cricket is for everyone really, so it's there for the leagues, for the clubs and the players. And obviously, we want to get as many players on that system as we can, so we know how many people are playing cricket in Cambridgeshire. That's both for adults and juniors. Some stats here around players and what they report from using play cricket and some of the benefits of it. Obviously, you can get weekly emails that will tell you about your stats and kind of try and help players feel like they're seeing the bigger picture of cricket across the leagues they're playing in. Clubs are able to manage availability on there. I think the system on play cricket is getting better. I think it probably had some critics early on, and hopefully now is getting into a place where it's going to be a better resource for clubs and players to use. And obviously there are the scoring tools that you can use on play cricket as well. So Play Cricket Scorer and Scorer Pro that you can use scoring at the game. Obviously last year with COVID, there was a concerns potentially about moving pens around between different people using the scorebook and using online scoring as an alternative to that. And these solutions are still there and people can still use these, and the teams that play in higher leagues will already be using that. But obviously this is an opportunity there for younger junior teams as well. With Dynamos, obviously they have a scoring aspect on the app, and so it can be part of the game and getting children to score on it. And obviously this can work the same way with Play Cricket Scorer on the phone and on the app there. As we talk to you a little bit about the ECB Disability Champion Club scheme. This is a key feature of the ECB Disability strategy for the next 4 years. So clubs can sign up to this, and there is more details available in last month's Beyond the Boundary newsletter and available on our website. So clubs that are running things for people with a disability are looking to develop that and get more people playing the game can sign up to be a champion club. They'll receive a brand new kit bag of playing equipment, guidance and support from the ECB's disability team, and £500 of grant funding. This kind of underpins all the other important parts of the Disability Champion Club scheme and of the disability strategy. Obviously about trying to make cricket more accessible, all the way through from playing the game to our pavilions and making sure people can get access into the toilets and things like that, as well as part of this. And obviously All Stars and Dynamos is open to everyone. Clubs on here that are signed up to that there could very easily be people coming along with disabilities. It's about you as a club thinking, how are we going to manage that? If we get someone, for example, that signs up who is in a wheelchair, how are we going to support them? Can they get to the toilet if they need to? So this kind of, that underpins it all, and this kind of helps here. So if there's any clubs interested in being a champion club at all, please do check out the information or get in touch with us and we will support you through that process. The ACO Online Courses. So lots of you may already be familiar with these. We promoted these quite a lot through last summer, and it was a useful thing for people to do when they were stuck at home and unable to get out and take part in things here. We've got 2 umpiring courses that you complete online there. Please do check that out on the website and have a go if that is something of interest to you. There's also online scoring courses. So again, if you are interested in that and would like to gain some qualifications in that part of the game, please feel free to check out those links. These slides will be sent around to you at some stage this week following the presentation. So obviously you can take the links then, click on those and have a good look around. And funding. Okay, so we are the Return to Cricket Grant Scheme, which some of you may have benefited from, closed today. So if you're still thinking of applying to that one, too late, you've missed it. That will now feed into the community fund, the ECB Community Fund, which will launch in April. That is linked to the Welcoming Environments strategy, which again is around facilities. More details again will come out in April for that. Again, linking into women and girls and disabilities in particular around clubhouses. How accessible are they? Are they suitable for the people that are coming to your club? And there are some external funding opportunities as well. So the Mick George Sports Fund, lots of clubs across Cambridgeshire and Huntingdonshire have been successful in getting funds from the Mick George Sports Fund. More details are there. The deadline for this is the 14th of April. If that is something that your club is interested in, please check out the link with Living Sport, who can help you through that process. So lots of clubs have been successful with that fund, so it's well worth looking at if you are looking for support in that area at the moment. And then finally, the Sport England Return to Play Fund, which was launched in October. It is still open to applications. We've kind of promoted that all the way through. I know lots of clubs were successful with Sport England grants right at the beginning of the pandemic and were able to get some money to help support them get through that. Some clubs will have had access to government grants and may have had access to them again through the last 2 COVID lockdowns. If you haven't had access to that and you think you might be able to, it is worth picking that up with your local district council, who have probably got the information on their website. Some district councils have been quite forthcoming with it, others probably not quite so much. Sponsorship. Okay, so some of you may have seen this a couple of weeks ago. We hosted a webinar, much like tonight, in partnership with other counties in the East region. It was run by Snap Sponsorship, which is an online platform. You could still see the recording of that evening there, which will give you a lot more information. But in a nutshell, Snap's platform kind of gives you access to sponsors who might be interested in things within the club. You can still bring in sponsors outside the platform. It'll help you set up how you work with the sponsors, whether it be promotion on social media, and it will give you an idea about what you could actually get sponsorship for throughout your club. So obviously lots of different sponsorship opportunities that as cricket clubs you will have. And if you are interested in signing up to the platform, by using that code there, you will be able to get a reduced price access. So it's normally £9 a month, will be £8.25 a month instead by using that code. So if you're struggling in that area of the game and you're interested, please do feel free to check that out. While grants and stuff are brilliant for kind of helping you out where you need to on certain things. Trying to maximise the income you generate yourselves is really helpful and may actually help open up more opportunities to you on a more regular basis. I think that was very quick, but we are on to questions. So Stuart, have we got any questions in the chat box?
Yes, we've got a couple. I've just sent them over to you, Matt.
Have you?
Yes.
But do you want to read them out for us? That might be
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I can't see them on my screen.
So one of the questions asking about activated training, saying it now covers both All-Stars and Dynamos. What about those who have had All-Stars training in the past? Will they be offered face-to-face training as well?
That's one for you, Willow.
Yeah, Cecilia, we are still waiting for
I think the signal in Wisby just dropped out.
that everything. No, can you get me?
I've got you now. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the old hamster in speech, isn't there?
I think he's gone. Right, we'll move on to it. Next one.
We have gone.
Yeah, you've got. We'll move on. We'll get an answer to that one. I think the answer Willow is probably trying to give is that if you're an existing activator, the face-to-face probably isn't there. Might nod at me if I'm. So the existing activators, I think, just do an online course this year. We'll get an answer to you though by email in the next couple of days. Hopefully Willow's Wi-Fi will pick up to respond to that email. We got next one, Stuart. You're on mute, Stuart.
Sorry. When can we expect to hear from the ECB regarding the return protocols with effect from 29th of March?
Right, okay, that was the question I was hoping we wouldn't get, but fully expected to get. It won't be until after the government reviewed things on the 22nd of March. So the government will be reviewing policy on the 22nd of March as to whether the restrictions change on the 29th, and the ECB guidance will be issued hopefully later that week, so it's ready to go on the 29th of March.
Next question is, which players will have to do induction safeguarding training? Will it just be the captains?
I think it will be open to everyone, but it will be strongly encouraged that the captains do it.
Next question is, any news on a grade 1 training course this year?
A grade 1? Oh, is that coaching course? Is that what we're looking for?
Yes, coaching, yeah.
Right, cool. So the Foundation 1 course, we've got one course scheduled to be run in April. Whether within the guidance we're able to run that course, we don't know, is the honest answer. We hope that we will be able to. We are looking at the possibility of running a second course later in the year. It won't be before the season starts because we don't have the tutor capacity to run it. We will look at that. Obviously, we know it's important to people that we get more coaches in the game. There are a lot of challenges to it at the moment, and we will try to try and resolve them as quickly as we can. And as soon we've got a waiting list of 18 people for that course. As soon as we kind of know if we're able to run it or not, we will get those details out to people. If you are interested in joining the waiting list, drop me an email. I'll put you onto the waiting list.
Okay, we have a question for Damian from Longstanton saying, we have received very positive feedback from parents and girls when mixed cricket coaching includes female mentors. Is there a way of developing a mentor ambassador initiative locally to develop this approach to support young girl cricketers and incentivize the older girls to take on that role?
We don't have that programme at the moment, but I do think it's a great idea. I mean, the motto at the moment within the Women and Girls Participation Team is, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So I think having that kind of role model within the girls is brilliant. Obviously, we've got close links with Sunrisers, so that would be fantastic. But at the moment, we don't. But it doesn't mean to say that we couldn't do something. So leave that one with me, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, last questions regarding All Stars again. Should we try if we can get Willow this time? So Jane says she's tried to upload first aid certificates to All Stars, has come back out of date. How do we get this accepted?
Sorry, mate, I missed that last bit. My Wi-Fi is horrendous at the minute.
So Jane tried to upload first aid certificate to All Stars, and it's come back saying out of date. How does she get it to accept it?
Yeah, I've already responded to Jane. Both myself and Rob will take a look at that and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, I've clicked on Jane's first aid certificate to the 30th of the 9th, but that's a manual operation on CRM. As with all first aid certificates, they do need to be entered manually onto the system, as opposed to things such as your SYC qualifications or your DBSs. But first aid, because they're done by different agencies around and about, we need a list of people who've got first aid certificates and dates, so we can put them on manually onto the ECB system.
Thank you, Rob. Stuart, have we all the questions done?
Yep, that's all the questions.
Cool, fantastic. So if anyone has any further questions at all, please feel free to get in touch with us and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All of our contact details are on our website if you haven't got them already. Just to finish up with tonight then, we've got a few dates for your diary here, some of the things we have covered already, just a reminder of this stuff. So obviously the deadline for return to cricket grants was today. National Programme priority participant sign-ups are launching tomorrow, wider sign-ups from the 22nd of March. End of March for the return to play guidance being released. Mick George Fund on the 14th of April. Disability Champion Clubs on the 30th of April. The ECB Community Fund will launch at some time in April. And the dates for the activator training are at the bottom there. So further details for those will come from Willow in the next couple of days and weeks. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening. I hope you have found it useful. So if you have any questions on the back of that, please feel free to get in touch with the relevant member of our team. We will keep you updated as best we can as things move forward. Please keep an eye on our social media pages. Our Beyond the Boundary newsletter will be coming out every month as before. And as always, if you need any help at all, please feel free to get in touch. Yeah. Thank you again for your time.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, if Matt, Russell, Stuart, Damian and James could stay online, I'd be grateful.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all again, and look forward to seeing you all soon.